The feeling of helplessness is one of those feelings that is absolutely paralyzing and is hard to deal with. But what I want to share with you is the best way to deal with helplessness is to obviously not focus on the things you cannot control. And when I say don't focus on the things you cannot control, I mean to say focus on what you can control. And believe it or not, what you can control will indirectly affect the things you can control. So it's really about changing your perspective and focusing on what's tangible for you, what's, accessible for you, what things you can actually manipulate and change. And then by directly changing those things, they will in turn affect the things you quote unquote cannot change or quote unquote are helpless to do something about. You see, it's important to understand where your strength lies and where your power in your ability to manipulate and change matter, change your perspective, change situations, change even outcomes based on focusing on the things that are accessible and reachable for you. It's important to ask yourself this question. Anytime you're dealing with a situation, you may be dealing with a person, dealing with a relationship, dealing with someone you have a relationship with that's dealing with something and you wish you can help them, but for some reason you can't. You have to understand that your role has power, but you just have to learn how to use that power. You have to be aware of how your place, your role in that position, in that situation can actually affect the person or the thing or the situation that's going on. So you have to take a really honest look at where you are in this situation, what role you play. And oftentimes that means stepping back from the situation, essentially detaching yourself from the situation so you can gain as much as an objective point of view as possible. Now, it is absolutely impossible to be completely objective, but it is possible to step back as far as possible, right? To just get a bird's eye view of what's going on. And when you can get a bird's eye view of what's going on and you can detach your emotions from it, then you are able to see more clearly. Now, mind you, your emotions are very important. It's just a matter of really positioning and placing things and knowing where to position and knowing when to use certain tools at your access. Now, with emotions, you want to set aside emotions when you are stepping back from the situation in order for you to get that bird's eye view and see things from an outer perspective. That way you can see as many points of view as possible. Then when you do that, you want to be mindful. So practicing mindfulness as to what is really going on. What is the situation at hand? Should you even do something about it? Or could this in part be part of the process of you actually getting a result that you want? You see, because a lot of times when we're going through terrible things or we're going through hardships or struggles, that is in fact part of the journey. And sometimes though, we need to fix those obstacles in order to get through the journey. So you have to ask yourself, could this be part of the journey, or is it something that I actually need to fix in order to complete my journey? You see how it can be layered with many different points of view. And understand that if you pick one, there is no wrong answer, right? You're just simply doing your best with what you have. So you have to simply play the game of chess, so to speak. Move the pieces, look at the board, and decide what you think is best. When you decide what you think is best, you simply make the move and you don't look back. So with looking out and down into what it is that's going on, you want to observe the situation as objectively as possible. Now, by doing that, you can then get a point of view of figuring out and seeing different outcomes, possibly, right? With different movements, different results from different actions. And really, you're only focusing more on your role. You're not focusing on if this person does this, if this person does that, if this situation goes here or this situation goes there. You want to focus more on if I do this, this could happen. If I don't do this, this could happen. Okay. And then once you do that, you want to make the best choice or decision, right? And take the best action that you think will actually get the results that you need. But it's always important to focus on you. Always focus on your role, because that's the only role, that's the only power you have, is focusing on the role. And don't diminish that just because it is you that you're focusing on, that it doesn't have power, that you don't have power. You have complete power to change every situation that you step into that is before you. You just simply have to position yourself and know where you are. You have to know who you are. You have to know where you are and the actual result that you want to achieve. Remember, once you make a decision and once you are moving towards something and you are making the best decision for yourself to get to that point, to manifest, to materialize, to create that situation, there is no end all be all. There is no, oh, if I do this and I don't get it right, that means that I will never have it. There was always the road towards your success. The road is always there. So even if you make a detour, even if you make and go the wrong direction or the wrong way, understand you can always correct. You can always change and go into the right direction. So realize that success is just a matter of time. It's always there. It will always be there. Your decisions, your emotions, your actions just simply direct you or tell you how much faster you can get to that destination. Okay? So you have to just be mindful. You have to be true to the reality that there are only certain things you can directly affect. Now, those things that you directly affect can indirectly affect other things, but don't focus on the other things. Focus on what you can absolutely affect first. And if those things are affected indirectly, then great. If they aren't, then so what? You just keep moving and focusing on what you can do. And that is your power. That is where you have the most access, the most influence, the most ability to create the world that you want to create. You just have to practice and own who you are, where you are, what you can do. And what you can do is ultimately endless, but you have to understand where it comes first, what comes first in that process of doing whatever you want to do. You see, understand that there is a process. And when you know the process, then the sky's the limit. If you don't know the process, then there's going to be a lot of difficulty, a lot of struggle, a lot of pain, a lot of not getting what you want faster, right? So be mindful, be yourself, be clear as to who you are, be clear as to where you are in the position you are in and what you can do. Take action and let everything fall perfectly in perfect order. Just focus and trust on you. All right. Thank you so much. Continue to join me on this journey. Peace and abundance always.